Hello guys, today's video is a short one, but I will teach you a skill that will allow you to save tons of money and also show off to your friends and family with your culinary knowledge bling. First thing first, talking about deboning, the most important thing you need to have is a butcher's knife or a deboning knife, one like this. This knife is usually inexpensive and with a cheap plastic handle because its lifetime is very short. This knife is used to cut bones, hard tissues, and so it will not last as much as a chef knife, and it's not made to last as much. You can easily get one for around 10 to 15 euros and it's very easy to find one. Now in our first deboning episode, we will start with the most eaten meat on the planet, the humble chicken. When choosing your chicken, the best one you can get is organic because it is grown outside, has lots of room to live its life, and it's fat quality food and isn't overcrowded, but it's also the most expensive one. Starting with the deboning, the first thing we have to do is unpack the chicken and lay it as flat as we can to be able to start cutting. Now we can either start with the drumsticks or the wings, but I always start with the drumsticks because it's the harder part to do. For this, we just need to pull on the drumsticks and put our fingers inside to try to gently remove from the body of the chicken. Then we will gently start cutting the skin of the chicken right where the thigh connects to the body. After the thigh is disconnected, we can start moving the drumstick a bit to find the joint and cut straight through it. If we cut through the joint, we will get a clean, easy cut because the joint is very soft, but if we cut through the bone, it will be much harder and it will look much worse. You can see how easy the knife went through, like it was butter. We will clean up all the parts at the end when we finish to detach everything. Now we will do the same with the other drumstick, pulling on it a bit if it's too stiff or if you can't feel the joint. Now for the thighs, it's a bit harder, but the trick here is to cut as close to the bone as possible and to follow the structure of the chicken. Again, we will cut through the joint, not the bone, and in the end it will be nice and clean. After, we will do the same thing with the other thigh and we are done with this part. Now comes the wing, which are super easy. We just cut through the joint and they are off and ready. Now for the breast, we have to be very careful to not fuck it up. To make it easy for you guys to understand, the chicken breasts are connected to the skeleton on this upside down T-like bone. Our job is to cut as close as we can to this T-bone and to find where it ends and starts on each side. You should only use the tip of the knife here to control it better and to be more precise. To make it more easy for me, I switched to a more sharper paring knife and I started to detach the breast from the bone. With the breast, we need to be careful to get out the oyster too, which is a small part of the breast at the top of the bone with the most tender meat on the chicken. When we get to the end of the chicken, we have to cut through the wishbone and detach it from the breast and also detach the rest of the wing. After that, we are done and we just have to do the same thing to the other side, but now I will show you a different cut called Frenched chicken breast, and that means that it still has the wing bone attached and we'll have to clean it nicely after. Again, we will be cutting slowly not to fuck up the meat, removing the wishbone and removing the wing bone from the carcass. Now cleaning the breast, we will just flatten out the skin and spread it nicely across the meat, cutting the axis and removing small pieces of meat just hanging about. We also have to remove the chicken tenders that we just have to slightly pull from the breast and not cut. I repeat, you don't need to cut, just pull them. Now for the French one, we need to clean the bone by scraping it of any meat that is still there. At the base of the bone, we also need to clean anything hanging about. Also good to keep all the scraps for chicken stock or to cook for your pet. We need to respect the animal that we are butchering and not waste anything that we can use. Now for the drumsticks, you want to keep them classic, just clean and hang any hanging bits of meat and skin, but if you want to do them French, slightly score the bone in the middle with the knife and start scraping the skin and the meat until it's clean. Also cut the end of the bone with the deboning knife to make it pretty. For the wing, you can either keep it like this or cut off the tip and make it a normal wing for either making fried chicken, soup, or whatever you want. The easiest to clean the thighs just require a bit of cutting the hanging skin and meat and checking for any bones still attached and removing them. And now we are done. I know probably you didn't understand anything, but no need to be worried. The first time I did it in school, the chicken looked like it was Hiroshima in 1945. With practice and patience, I got to where I am now, and I can do this whole process in 3 to 4 minutes without the cleaning. You'll get there and you'll be able to butcher your own chicken, save money, and waste less meat. I hope you guys like this kind of technique video. Maybe I'll do more in the future, but for next week, I'll show you how to use that French breast to make the juiciest breast you can dream of. Until next time, keep spreading those kitchen smiles and happy cooking.